guys, welcome back to my last painting of my Christmas special, and I planned a very cute kitty. I have made a pre-drawing and I added some masking fluid onto the whiskers as well as onto the reflections within the eye. But now I continue with my painting and I wet the body first so I don't wet the entire kitty. And I add some of the purple there. I made this purple out of phthalo blue as well as some of the crimson red. I start with the first layer, so basically I just want to have a nice first layer that will shine through later on. And I tried to orientate myself on the shape of the kitty. So I just watch the roundness and where I add my brush strokes accordingly to the form. So the belly or the backside of the kitty, basically you can see it there in the painting, and I add those brush strokes. And I added a little bit of yellow ochre mixed with burnt sienna so that I have a really nice warm color there as well. The face of the kitty is basically in similar colors and using mostly yellow ochre, burnt amber, and then mix it a little bit with indigo blue to have a darker brown. But now I just add different layers onto the kitty, and when I think that it's ready, I continue with the face. So I wet this area as well with a very big brush. It's nicely moist and I can have a blurry structure there. I oriented myself a little bit on the reference picture. Here as well I add the color in different directions so that it fits the face structure, and I don't need to be worried later on what it looks like. I have the possibility still to add a little bit of a darker brown here, so now it's this burnt amber and some indigo blue. But underneath the eye, the kitty has a quite dark stripes, and I added here some Payne's gray with a touch of indigo blue, and I'm very careful already to add a little bit of a contrast, so the eyes are basically getting the most of the attention, and I want to add their quite dark colors. I continue with the paw. The paw I wetted also priorly, and it's relatively light in color, although it does have some structure. There are some stripes, and mainly I use Payne's gray as well as some of the purple that I have used before. And now I continue underneath the face so that it basically it's like a pop out, but there's like a difference between the head and the lower body. Although at the moment I'm really focusing on the basic features. But you can see already I have a much darker burnt sienna there, and I spread it a little bit with water, and as well as adding some of the Payne's gray. I want to already add some of the brighter colors that will remain later on. I'm careful to add those darker colors, so stronger in pigments on the side and underneath the head. The kitty's form is very white in a sense on the cheeks, and I really want to emphasize this in my painting. I continue add here as well on the other side some more of the burnt sienna. a little bit mixed with the burnt umber, and then I want to have a blurry side so that the left side of the kitty remains relatively blurry and just the main features are emphasized. I work on the head and add some more of the darker colors, and then as well next to the nose. While the head area is drying, I continue with the rest of the body, and I have a stronger layer out of purple and then adding some of the brown as well. I really want to emphasize that the lower part of the body is so much darker, while the upper part is much lighter, so where the light is shining on. And here I add a lot of the paints gray, as well a little bit of a stripes, and then emphasizing more the features of the kitty's face. It's really important to orientate oneself on the reference picture or on the painting here if you paint it yourself. So which direction are the brush strokes going, which features are emphasized, are the round, are the more straight. And the kitty's tail is not that prominent, so I try not to add too much color, but I still want that it's being emphasized, as well as the ears. So around the ears it's a very dark stripe and it has those really long hair on the top of the ears. I add a little bit more of the yellow ochre or burnt sienna into the ear area, and as well as some of the darker colors such as the black. I think for me the most challenging part to paint the kitty is the nose, to get the shape right, so really have a look where to add the roundness and which direction the nose is showing compared to the rest of the head, as for example as the stripes on the cat's face. And then as well adding some of the lighter layers such as the purple, so it gives a nice shadowy part, as well as it emphasizes the roundness of the head. A little bit underneath and adding more colors. And then adding a light phthalo blue underneath the kitty, so my shadow is gonna be set there. But now I'll continue with the eyes. I mixed some green out of phthalo blue and some lemon yellow. So because the phthalo blue is very strong in pigment, it's just really a touch. You can see that my body area is still quite wet, so I'm able to add a very dark paints gray. It's quite important to be able to get very strong pigments. Of course, it's possible to get it from a tube when it's freshly squeezed onto the palette, but I try not to waste too much of my colors, even in the YouTube videos. So I make sure that the dried paint contains a lot of water, and it actually takes some time that the colors or the paint is being activated. So I make sure that I take this time to do so, and I don't need to add too fresh paint there. I emphasize now mostly the features, So you can really see that the form of the kitty is coming out very nicely. A little bit bits here and there. And then a little bit adding more of the purple, so it's mixing with the black. Emphasizing the chest and then adding more phthalo blue underneath the kitty. I wanted to have a little bit of a composition here, and I make it diagonal, the stripe where the kitty is. But my kitty is chasing a ribbon, and the ribbon is made out of rose and some crimson red. And I spread it really nice. Opera rose, now that's the name. I forgot, I haven't used it for a while. It's mixing a little bit with the blue. And then I continue again with the smaller parts in the kitty, on the kitty's face, so just emphasizing the features as the eyes and the ears. And adding here and there a bit of a lighter layer, so the roundness of the different features is being emphasized. Especially, I believe, are both the eyes, it's quite important, but as well as around the cheeks. So between the snout and the eyes, they need some darkness, and so that the kitty looks much more three-dimensional, especially as it's more like a two-third position of the hat. I still add some blue because I was not happy with the contrast. Now I add much more blue to the background. And when you do backgrounds and you don't have as much details, I recommend just to add some, to use a big brush. While the background is a little bit wet, I add some more of the brown colors. As I said, I want the left side to be rather more blurry. I continue with the eye, so now I added more of the phthalo blue to the eye, to the paint, and then I added to the eye. And here as well, adding respecting the roundness. I continue with my ribbon, so now it's really just focus on that. I did not want to be too detailed or too perfect, so because the kitty itself is so beautiful and takes much more details, I don't want to focus too much on the ribbon, but just having this one feature there. Very important when painting the ribbon is to have a clear difference between the edges and the content, so what's in the middle of the ribbon. It's I understand the ribbons are quite reflective, but in my case, like I said, I don't put too much effort there, so I just really add a little bit of dark colors around the edges and then use my other brush to add some water and spread the color there. I add the same phthalo blue underneath the ribbon and spread it then with the water. But I like to add some blurry parts as well, so I did the same colors that I have used for the ribbon underneath. And again, because the contrast is not that strong, I add some of the purple there, especially as I had purple at the rest of the body. I thought I added a bit underneath. and still emphasizing the head of the kitty. So adding much darker colors and around the eye area. So this is really the focus point here. And emphasizing a little bit of the darkness and the little tail behind. Now are the pupils. So using a very small brush and make sure that the pupils are as well in the right direction so that they're quite round and kind of emphasizing the roundness of the eye out so that it looks much more realistic. Now adding more darker colors so that the contrast is in there. And then I thought I add some white gouache around the kitty so it's having those very single hairs. I mixed it a little bit with white and the purple, but I believe you can skip this part as well because after all it did not came out as strong as I thought it would be. But my last step is basically just emphasizing the snout of the kitty and adding a little bit of a darker, a light layer of yellow ochre and some brown. And then if you want to emphasize more of the roundness, just take some of the paint with water and some paper, as well as the same I do it for the ribbon. But that was it. So thank you for watching and remember to subscribe. Bye.